Thank you for joining me for this post of Ruthie World One Woman Show. Welcome to Ruthie Wows. So, I'm going to talk about a couple of things that's going on in the news. It's just coming up in my algorithms, and eventually, sometimes I'll click on something if it keeps coming up and keeps coming up. So, these are a couple of things that I just couldn't resist. Had to click on it, see what's going on. So I think that ICE at airports is a bad idea, and that's putting it mildly. What could go wrong, right? They're not just going to be at the airport. I don't understand how they can do what it is TSA agents were trained to do when they have already proven that they are inhumane and they don't care and they just rough up everybody. They've proven that. That's like asking the police to go to. Can you imagine if the police, law enforcement was at airports doing TSA duties? TSA was bad enough all by themselves. The way that they treated people, their tone, how they were. Someone once called the way that they treated people molestation. Yeah, I remember. I remember exactly who it was that said it. How is ICE going to be any better than that? And ICE can't do no wrong. The biggest difference that could happen from ICE being at airports is that people who was thinking about leaving, they may have been thinking about going back to their home country. But if ICE get a hold to them, there's no telling. I think it's going to cut way back on people traveling abroad, especially people who in the U.S. and they know they're not here legally, but then everybody is at risk because I'm a citizen. It's ICE. ICE at the airport. That means anybody can get singled out. I'm about to travel. I'll make sure I'm at the airport 12 hours before my departure time. I'll tell you that because it's going to be coming up soon. The next 2 weeks, anything can happen in the next 2 weeks. That 5-day extension that Trump gave Iran is coming up within the next 2 weeks. And this war is it's no laughing matter. But the bloke, the biggest liar of all times, he is the biggest clown of all times. The biggest clown the world has ever seen. Just, yeah, we need you, we don't need you. I talked to Iran. No, from what I understand, and even the Wall Street Journal is reporting that he did not speak with Iran. The Iranian guy, spokesperson, even said, no, he's lying. I'm glad Iran is pushing back. U.S. journalists, they just seem so soft. They don't ask the hard questions. Well, he can't answer the easy questions, so it's like whatever he's asked is just a dumb response. It just doesn't make sense. The way he was with the prime minister from Japan, that was interesting. Him bringing up Pearl Harbor, "Hey, y'all didn't give us no one." It just doesn't make sense. And according to um, China Daily, a paper that I used to read regularly when I was in Seattle because it was published in Seattle and it was free, but it's not free anymore. But I came across a couple, an edition today, and it said that she gave Trump billions of dollars, like a gift. Yeah, That's what they said. I'm just like nobody else will talk about the billions of dollars she get. What for? I'm not sure I understood that, but maybe it's not true. Maybe it's not true. But I did read that in China Daily. So the U.S. Mainstream media, they go soft on him. They don't ask questions. From what I understand about Mueller, the guy who died, he exonerated him. They talked about that. He even said Mueller exonerated him, and then he gets up and says what he says about the guy once the guy passes away. That is so. I don't even know what to say about that. Somebody who exonerated you, and he basically cleared your name, and you say that about him. So mainstream media is trying to spin that piece on the 48-hour hit in favor of the bloat. They trying to they trying to spin it some kind of way to make it seem like he was talking with the man for the last so and so, and Iran said they haven't spoken in 24 days. That's what the spokesperson from Iran said. So now it seems like CNN is cowering. They were the ones who was always talking about him telling lies, and he hates CNN, but not no more. CNN seems like they in there trying to make excuses for it. They're perpetuating that lie that he'd been talking to the guys for the last couple of days, and Iran said no. He said that's misinformation. That's the word he used. His strategy, the U.S. strategy is weak. I've been watching Money Behind History every night. I watch it to see what they're talking about. They talking about ballistic missiles and nuclear warheads, and where this one is located and where that's located. It's fascinating to hear him talking about strategic the strategy that Iran is using. United States is weak. So the TSA guys not being paid, and I don't know, they're up to like 40 something, 30 something days perhaps with no pay. That's got to be rough. I'm sure lots of people, it might be one family, one income family, a lot of kids, whatever. Everybody's got a situation. Everybody needs their money, and they just putzing around. They want to pay ICE agents. They say to stand around, but if ICE agents ain't standing around, what are they doing? I just feel like ICE agents can't be doing what it is TSA agents supposed to do. They liable to open stuff up and just start taking stuff out of the suitcase. How do they know how to read X-ray machines and see what's going on? So I don't trust it. I don't trust it. But all of it is tied to the Save Act. And if the Dems don't agree to whatever it is he wants done and whatever the Save Act has in it, then he's not going to do whatever it is he wants them to do that needs to be done to pay the TSA workers. That's it in a nutshell. The Save Act. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. One thing about the SAVE Act is that it's big on voter suppression, and that's what it is the Dems are talking about. But the Dems are weak, and they can't be trusted to do the right thing. I don't trust them to do the right thing because to me, they always seem to be caving and folding and allowing. You don't see nobody Democratic person, so-called Democrat, standing up. Not really. Cory Booker don't count. Jeffrey, whatever, they don't count because they are APAC recipients and they don't care about Americans. So. But one thing I'll say, Iran is not playing. And this is serious. We're going to feel the repercussions for this globally from now on. Forget about for the next couple of years. So Iran is serious. They're not backing down. The 48-hour hit has been extended to 5 days. What, 5 days from Monday? That's Friday. You know how fast Friday gets here every week. While the whole world waits. Let's talk about Afro Man. Yay! Let's hear it for Afro Man. If you haven't heard about Afro Man, you need to go and look him up. He pulled that off beautifully. Won the case against the cops who raided his house, did without probable cause, just because somebody lied to them about him. And like Sabby Sab said, I'll include the Sabby Sab videos. But like Sabby Sab said, he could have died. You see them in there? Got the lady got guns on, trained on his kids, and they got the cameras up. They giving the one finger salute. They are so rude. I don't have no sympathy for police, y'all. I sure don't. They are brutal on black people. They don't want black people to have nothing. But Afro Man did it. He sure did. Right on, right on. Afro Man is all I can say. And Savvy Sabs covered the story beautifully. They got a lot of nerve thinking that they can do that. Why can't they just leave black people alone? They seem to not be able to do that. The comedian Joffrey is his name. Jeffrey has a YouTube series that he calls "Leave Black People Alone." He keeps showing clips of black people are whipping white folks' ass for just coming at the wrong black person, and he's having fun. I don't have no sympathy for white folks who attack black people because they black. I don't. Angry Karen just fucking with somebody just for no reason. No. So yeah, good for Whitey. Leave black people alone. That's all I got to say. How easy is that? How easy is that? It's too easy. But they can't do it. The lemon cake video done by Afro Man is hilarious. If you ever get to see it, it's kind of a short and it's going through the algorithm. But yeah, it's pretty funny. Good for them cops. Later for them. They try to talk about stress and ruining their reputation. They ruin their own reputation. Why are you busting in the man's house and y'all ain't have no evidence for whatever it is that woman said that he did? She was just lying to get a lighter sentence on something else. So that's what cops do. They'll go to somebody and they'll say, well, if you could tell us that so-and-so did so-and-so, we'll go light on you. And people usually do it. It don't even matter. It don't matter. They'll do it and then ruin somebody else's life, somebody else getting the house getting raided, somebody end up dead, and they just go busting up in there. And those cops that did that to him, they look stupid. Especially the female. She looked real stupid. They look dumb like rocks. Yeah. So, I'm sick of them. I'm sick of folks messing with black people just because they black. So it's a huge win for free speech, is what they're saying. And I guess because Afro Man won, some black person probably gonna end up dead just because they black. Because it's a win. It's a win. And it's a huge win for everybody. Like Afro Man said, it's a huge win for the USA and what they call free speech. So yeah, check out Afro Man. Right on, right on is all I have to say. So I get to say whatever I want to, right?